Contrary to popular opinion, I personally like Dan Ticktum when he's not sending up the inside of Porsche at Baku and fracturing his arm, or trash-talking King Nicholas on Twitch, but more on that later. Despite his not-so-positive past and an attitude that could rival Chick Hicks, Dan Ticktum is actually a very talented driver, clearly talented enough to warrant being John Warren's favourite F2 driver. It's either that or he's just incredibly patriotic. So anyway, after his outstanding performances in Baku and Silverstone, I was curious as to why Dan Ticktum is so hated, and I thought I'd let you know today. Daniel Charles Anthony Ticktum was born on the 8th of June 1999 in London. Like most racing drivers of the modern age, bar Mr. DeLedder, Ticktum started his career early, at the age of 8, in the Honda Cadets, where he made an excellent impression with some pretty good results. This continued in 2011 when he won the British FKS Championship, National Super 1 Championship, British Open Championship and British Grand Prix Championship, which, sorry to state the obvious, isn't easy. Following more standout performances, Dan graduated to the British Formula 4 Championship in 2015, and he did pretty well. I mean, until Croft, where he decided that it would only be reasonable to crash into Lando Norris at the final corner in order to win the race. As you can imagine, the stewards weren't best pleased and disqualified him from all 3 rounds at the circuit. However, this is by no means the only example of Ticktum losing his temper. Following a win and a few podiums at Snetterton, Knockhill and Rockingham, Dan attended the 9th round at Silverstone, where the Brit demonstrated some of the most foolish actions I have ever seen in all of racing. So put yourself in his situation. You're racing with your rival and you unfortunately collide, sending you to the back of the safety car queue. You have 3 options: retire from the race with damage, make the most of a bad situation, or overtake 10 cars under safety car to crash into your rival. I have no idea what was going through Ticktum's head at this moment. Seriously, my only explanation is that he thought he was in an open lobby on the Codemasters F1 game. So yeah, Dan overtook 10 cars under the safety car to crash into Ricky Collard after their little incident beforehand. Because of this, Dan was banned from all motorsport events for 2 years, which doesn't really seem like an acceptable punishment for an offence that severely put others at risk, but hey, if Raghunathan could get to Formula 2, anything's possible, I guess. In 2016, Ticktum controversially returned to motorsport, competing in the final round of the FIA European Formula 3 Championship in Hockenheim. Later in the year, he made his debut in the Macau Grand Prix with R Racing, finishing 8th in Sunday's qualifying race, before retiring from the main race due to an accident which, surprisingly for once, wasn't his fault. In January of 2017, Dan Ticktum was announced as a member of the Red Bull Junior team, which absolutely no one saw coming, due to his antics. But hey, Red Bull love their dangerous stuff, I guess. That year, Dan went on to compete in the Formula Renault Eurocup with Arden International, where he picked up a respectable P7 with 1 win and 3 podiums, in a pretty competitive field. Jarno Pogmir was 15th. Furthermore, Ticktum made his GP3 debut midway through the season at Monza and picked up a podium at the final round in Abu Dhabi. Dan also attended the Macau Grand Prix with Motopark and managed to win the race after the 2 leaders crashed at the final corner of the final lap of the race. Just check this out.
And they're side by side coming to the last corner. Habsburg's got him! Habsburg's got him! And Camera hits the wall! So too does Habsburg! And Daniel Ticktum wins the Macau Grand Prix!
Motopark were so impressed with this performance that they signed him for the 2018 European F3 Championship, where he continued his run of impressive performances, aside from receiving a Brazilian butt lift at the Norris Ring. Ticktum performed very well, picking up 4 wins, 5 poles and 8 podiums, to come second in the championship, roughly 60 points behind Mick Schumacher, although it's also worth mentioning that he won his 2nd Macau Grand Prix, back-to-back, which is no mean feat. Red Bull also began licking their lips and wanted to try to get him into F1 by 2020, so they decided to promote him into Super Formula, where he scored 1 solitary point in the first 3 rounds, which is understandable for a rookie, right? Wrong. Red Bull decided their only option was to drop him from the academy. Nothing new, to be fair. If your name isn't Max, Marco doesn't give a flying fridge. But never mind, Williams are always willing to pick up the scraps. Ticktum was signed into the Williams Academy and the Dams F2 team for the 2020 season, which was definitely a good step forward. Something that hasn't changed, however, was the prevalence of his quick temper. Here are a few sound bites.
So much faster than them, mate. It's ridiculous. Like, why did I get a penalty for that? I didn't cause it. Yeah, I will never give up, mate, but I'm just starting to get bored of the level of bad luck I've had. I'm really, really effing bored of it. It's just, I don't know what I am doing in my life to deserve this. I really don't.
Anyway, I shall pass you over to a slightly more relevant F1 YouTuber to discuss his thoughts on the English gentleman.
For a lot of people out there, the thought of Dan Ticktum becoming a Formula 1 driver is about as horrifying a thought as getting into a bathtub with Flavio Briatore. And I could see some of the points that are made by these people. He is a little hot under the collar on the radio, and on Twitch, and on Instagram, and whatever else he's on. And he's got a history with literally ramming people off the road. But without wishing to sound dismissive of what happened, that was quite some time ago. You gotta let it go at some point. Even if, for a lot of the F1 Twitter community, that is an impossibility. As for his antics over the radio, yeah, he needs to puck it down a bit. However, I'll also say that getting angsty and bitchy over the radio is part and parcel of being a racing car driver. Go to any race meeting, get onto the combox of any driver out there, and you're gonna hear more curse words than you are words of actual English. But look, my point at the end of the day is this. While Danny Boy is not the most perfect driver out there, I mean, he's no King Latifi, he undeniably has pace, regularly showing up his teammates, especially this year with Jahan Daruvala. And now he's getting the boot from Williams, after being told that a seat next year wasn't going to happen for him. I find that disappointing, to say the least. With everything that Dylan outlined in this video, about what he's achieved in the sport and so on, we're instead going to have the drive given to someone who isn't even the third best driver in their academy. Personally, I hope, provided certain things happen, that Dan gets a shot at Formula 1 eventually, and that, along the way, he doesn't see Ricky Collard again whilst under safety car conditions.
Anyway, obviously a massive thank you to Josh Revell for contributing to this video. If you haven't, for some reason, subscribed to him already, go and do so now with the link below. As Josh mentioned, recently Dan has got himself into a little bit of trouble after saying some questionable stuff concerning Nicholas Latifi during a Call of Duty Warzone Twitch stream. This includes singing silly rhymes, calling Latifi poo. Like seriously, were you sure this dude still isn't stuck in nursery school? I really cannot understand why he is foolish enough to ruin his career by saying the wrong things on social media. Like seriously man, you're incredibly quick, but your attitude is never going to help you get into F1. Anyway, final thoughts on the Carlin driver. Despite his stupidity on and off the track, the guy is quick. He just is. If he was more sensible and didn't decide to T-bone rivals, scream on the radio, and trash talk superiors whilst live streaming, I could certainly see him with an F1 drive within the next few years. Heck, in my predictions video before the Twitch incident, I predicted that he would fulfill a Williams seat if George Russell goes to Mercedes. However, it is looking increasingly likely that these seats will be awarded to De Vries or Van Dorn. Therefore, I think that Dan Ticktum had a lot of potential within motorsport. However, due to his incredibly quick temper and stupidity, he has rapidly become one of the most hated racing drivers out there. Anyway, they were my thoughts on the British driver. Again, a big thank you to Josh Revell for taking time to contribute his opinions onto this video. Make sure you subscribe to him. Please make sure you also leave a like and comment your thoughts on Ticktum and start a conversation below. Anyway, I will see you all in the next video. But until then, take care and thank you very much for watching.